Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Today, we're looking at the optimal structure for a day. We've got this huge stack of research really focused on, like, daily routines for students, high-performing one.
That was the core material.
But let's be honest, the insights we pulled out, the cognitive science, the organizational strategies.
Basically a cheat code.
Exactly. A total cheat code for, well, pretty much anyone who feels like they're drowning in their to-do list.
Absolutely. And our mission today, really, is to cut through the fluff, forget the just plan better kind of slogans.
Right.
We want to give you the actual concrete habits, the specific techniques, and maybe most importantly, the why behind it all, the neuroscience of focus and productivity.
Yeah, understanding why makes it stick, doesn't it?
It does. So we're aiming to turn this long list of good ideas into something you can use immediately, like an actionable structure.
Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of the wake-up times and all that, we probably need to address the big question first. Why bother? Why is a routine even necessary? It sounds so restrictive.
That's the common perception, yeah. But the research points, interestingly, in the complete opposite direction. It's about control.
Control? How so?
Well, think about it, especially for a student, right? You're juggling classes, homework, maybe sports, clubs, friends. It's a constant stream of decisions.
Okay, yeah. What to study next? When to take a break? Did I reply to that email?
Exactly. That constant mental calculation. What should I do now? What's most important? It eats up mental energy. Cognitive load, basically.
That low-level hum of decision-making.
Precisely. And each tiny decision chips away at your willpower, your executive function. So what the sources show is that a good routine minimizes that wasted time and energy spent just planning what to do next.
Ah, so you pre-decide the big stuff.
You pre-decide the structure.
Yeah.
It frees up your brain power for the actual work, the hard stuff. It kind of turns this, chaotic storm of tasks into more of a peaceful river. You know where you're going.
I like that analogy. A peaceful river instead of a chaotic storm. It's about building that predictability.
Predictability and control, yeah. Which, paradoxically, feels less restrictive because you're not constantly fighting fires or making choices under pressure.
And that feeling of control, the sources suggest, also helps reduce stress, right? Less
Right.
last-minute panic.
Definitely. Knowing what's coming up, knowing you've allocated time for things, it prevents that, oh no, I forgot about X moment. It lowers anxiety.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And you mentioned it's not just about getting assignments done. There's a bigger picture here.
Absolutely. This connects to long-term skill development. Consistently following a routine, even when you don't feel like it, that builds discipline.
The ability to just execute the plan.
Exactly. And that discipline, coupled with learning how to allocate your time effectively, those are fundamental time management skills. They transfer directly to, well, any job, any complex life situation.
So it's training for life, not just for exams.
In a very real way, yes. It teaches you how to manage your most valuable resource, your time.
Okay, so we're sold on the why. Let's build this routine. Where do we start? The
Yeah.
morning, I assume. The launch pad.
The morning launch pad, yes. And the first piece of advice is pretty consistent across the board. Wake up early enough.
Define early enough. Are we talking 5 a.m.?
Not necessarily that extreme unless that's your natural rhythm. The consensus seems to hover around, say, 6:30 a.m. or 7 a.m. for many students.
Okay.
But the principle is key. Wake up with enough time so you don't feel rushed. You need to ease into the day, not blast off in a panic.
Avoid hitting snooze 5 times and then sprinting out the door.
Precisely. That sets a stressful tone for the entire day. You want a slow, controlled start.
And then comes a really hard part, for most people anyway, the phone.
Ah, yes. The crucial avoidance. This came up again and again. The advice is strong. Do not immediately grab your phone when you wake up.
No checking messages, no scrolling social media.
None of it. Because the moment you do, you're letting the outside world flood in. Your brain immediately shifts into reactive mode.
Reacting to notifications, other people's agendas.
Exactly. You're consuming problems, drama, requests before your own mind, especially the prefrontal cortex, has even fully booted up, so to speak.
And then you spend the rest of the day feeling behind, trying to catch up mentally.
You do. It derails your focus from the start. So the rule is, phone stays away for at least the first, say, 30 minutes, maybe even an hour.
Okay, so instead of external input, we focus inward first. What should those first few minutes look like?
Keep it simple and physical, then mental. First, maybe just a few minutes of light stretching. Get the blood flowing gently.
Wake up the body.
Right. And then, critically, hydration. Drink a big glass of water. immediately.
Why is that so important right away?
Well, you've been dehydrating all night. Even mild dehydration, like a 1 or 2% drop, can measurably impact your focus, your attention, your working memory.
Wow, that's specific. 1 to 2%.
Yeah, the cognitive effects are surprisingly sensitive to hydration levels. So rehydrating first thing is like turning the lights on for your brain. It's a very simple, very powerful habit.
Water first. Got it.
Right.
What about the mental side?
Use those next few minutes, maybe 5 or 10, for some kind of quiet reflection. This could be journaling, just writing down whatever thoughts are swirling around.
Get them out of your head.
Exactly, externalize them. Or maybe a short 5-minute meditation, just focusing on your breath. The goal isn't deep enlightenment here.
Right, just calming the noise.
It's about clearing the mental clutter, setting a calm, intentional tone before the day's demands start hitting you. It provides a really strong foundation.
Calm, hydrated, phone still off.
Okay, what's next? From calm to action.
From calm to structure. This is where planning comes in. After that initial quiet period, you actively plan your day.
Okay, so actually mapping it out.
Yes, and the key here is to think in blocks. Don't just make a giant to-do list. Break your day into defined chunks of time.
Like 9 to 11 a.m. is study block 1, 11:00 to 11:15 is break, 11:15 to 1:00 is study block 2, that kind of thing.
Exactly like that. Schedule your study time, schedule your breaks, schedule your meals. These become the building blocks for your day. It provides the scaffolding.
Keeps the day from just sort of slipping away. Precisely. It gives you defined start and end points for focused work.
And what about tools? Do you need fancy apps or planners?
Absolutely not. The sources emphasize this. A simple physical planner, a basic notebook, even just the calendar app on your phone, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
The tool is much less important than the act of planning itself.
The intentionality.
Right. And within that planning, the most critical step is prioritization. A simple to-do list isn't enough if everything feels equally important.
Yeah, that's where overwhelm kicks in. How do we prioritize effectively?
The classic method, which is still incredibly effective, is distinguishing between urgent and important. You know the matrix.
Vaguely. Urgent, important. Not urgent, important.
Exactly. You need to identify what must be done today because it's both urgent and important, like studying for that test tomorrow.
Gotcha. High stakes, near deadline.
Right. Then what's important but not urgent, like starting research for a paper due in 3 weeks or maybe organizing your desk. Still needs doing, but not right now. The golden rule is tackle the urgent and important tasks first. Use your peak mental energy, usually earlier in the day for most people, on the things that have the biggest immediate impact or consequences.
So you're making sure you're not just busy, but actually productive on the right things.
That's the goal. Avoid the trap of busyness. Focus on impact.
Okay, so we've scheduled our high priority deep work block. Let's say it's 2 hours. How do we actually use that time effectively without burning out halfway through? This is where Pomodoro comes in, right?
Yes, the Pomodoro technique was mentioned frequently as a highly effective method for managing focus within those study blocks.
Explain it again briefly. It's not just a timer, is it?
No, it's more than that. It's really a system for managing attention and preventing mental fatigue. The basic mechanic is you set a timer for 25 minutes.
Okay.
During those 25 minutes, you work with intense focus on one single task. No distractions, phone off, email closed, just the task.
Zero multitasking.
Zero. That's crucial. Then when the timer rings, you stop immediately, and you take a mandatory 5-minute break.
And what do you do in that 5-minute break? Check Instagram.
Absolutely not. That defeats the purpose. Checking your phone or email just pulls your attention away again and creates what researchers call attention residue.
Attention residue. What's that?
It's the idea that when you switch tasks, part of your brain is still thinking about the previous task. So even if you switch back, your focus isn't fully there. It takes time to mentally disengage and re-engage.
Ah, okay. So those quick phone checks during study are really costly.
Incredibly costly to deep focus. So that 5-minute Pomodoro break needs to be a real break. Stand up, stretch, walk around, look out the window, get some water, something completely different.
A physical and mental reset.
Exactly. Then, after the 5 minutes, you start another 25-minute focus session. You repeat this cycle.
25 on, 5 off.
Right. And the standard recommendation is that after 4 Pomodoros, so about 2 hours of work with short breaks, you take a longer break, maybe 15 to 30 minutes.
To really recharge before the next big block.
Yep. It helps keep your brain fresh, prevents burnout, and respects the natural limits of sustained concentration.
And the environment matters here too, doesn't it? Finding a quiet place.
Hugely important. Find a quiet spot where you won't be interrupted. And also, keep it organized. The sources mention the idea that a clean space helps a clear mind.
Why is that? Less visual clutter.
Basically, yes. Visual clutter competes for your attention subconsciously. Even if you're not actively looking at the mess, your brain is processing it, which uses up a little bit of cognitive resource. An organized space minimizes those background distractions.
Okay, that makes sense. So we're focused, we're using Pomodoro, our space is clean, but we need fuel, right? How does food fit into this optimal routine?
Food is absolutely critical. Think of it literally as fuel for your brain. Your brain uses a disproportionate amount of your body's energy.
So what kind of fuel? Does it matter what we eat?
Oh, absolutely. The sources heavily caution against reaching for sugary snacks or drinks for a quick energy boost.
The classic candy bar or soda while studying?
Right. Get that quick spike in blood sugar, which feels like energy, but it's followed by a rapid crash.
Leaving you feeling tired and unfocused.
Exactly. It sabotages sustained concentration. Instead, focus on foods that provide steady, sustained release energy.
Like what?
Complex carbohydrates, whole grains, oats, good quality protein eggs, lean meats, beans, tofu, healthy fats, nuts, avocados, and plenty of fruits and vegetables for vitamins and minerals.
Real food, basically.
Real nutrient-dense food that supports stable blood sugar and energy levels throughout those long study blocks.
And hydration again. We mentioned it for the morning, but throughout the day too.
Constantly. Keep a water bottle nearby and sip on it throughout the day. Dehydration is a major enemy of focus and cognitive function at any time. Don't wait until you feel thirsty.
Okay, constant sipping. And what about skipping meals? Is that ever okay if you're busy?
Big mistake, according to the research. Never skip meals, especially breakfast and lunch.
Why are they so critical?
Breakfast provides the initial energy your brain needs to get going after fasting all night. Skipping it means you're starting the day depleted.
Running on empty.
Pretty much.
Ah.
And skipping lunch leads directly to that dreaded afternoon slump. Around 2 or 3 p.m. where your energy tanks, you feel grumpy, and you can't focus on anything.
Oh, yeah. The zombie hour.
Exactly. That's often linked to skipping or having a poor lunch. Consistent, high-quality fuel intake is essential for maintaining high performance all day. Your brain needs that regular energy supply.
Okay, fuel and hydration are covered. But student life, even with breaks, involves a lot of sitting. What about movement?
This is a huge one and often neglected. Students can spend hours and hours sitting in class, studying, reading.
Right, glued to a chair.
And that's bad not just for physical health, but for brain function too. Movement is essential for good blood flow and oxygenation to the brain.
So we need to build in movement deliberately.
Yes. Short bursts of activity can make a big difference. It doesn't have to be a full workout. Even 5 minutes of walking around, doing some jumping jacks, or a quick stretching routine can act like a reset button.
Wakes you up, gets the blood moving.
Exactly. It improves alertness, mood, and can actually enhance cognitive function.
So could we tie this into the Pomodoro breaks? Use that 5-minute window.
That's a perfect strategy. Use those built-in 5-minute breaks to intentionally get up and move. Don't just switch from sitting at your desk to sitting on the couch scrolling your phone.
Stand up, walk around the room, do some squats.
Something physical. It interrupts the long periods of being sedentary, prevents stiffness, and sends a fresh wave of oxygenated blood to your brain, helping you stay sharp for the next focus block.
Okay, that feels like a really practical way to integrate movement. Now, a routine can't be all work and Pomodoros, right? What about life? Friends? Fun?
Absolutely essential. A routine that doesn't allow for social connection and relaxation is unsustainable and, frankly, unhealthy.
Leads to burnout.
Definitely. The sources emphasize the importance of actively making time for fun, for friends, for family. Social interaction is crucial for mental well-being and resilience.
So it's not about eliminating fun, it's about balancing it.
It's about balancing it and even scheduling it. Treat your social time and hobbies with the same importance as your study blocks. Put them in the plan. This ensures they happen and prevents guilt.
That makes sense. But let's talk about the big disruptor, the thing that throws off study time and social time if we're not careful. Screens.
Technology, the double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Screens, phones, computers, games are probably the single biggest source of distraction for students.
They're designed to be distracting, aren't they?
They're literally engineered to capture and hold your attention, which is why controlling them is paramount for an effective routine.
So what are the practical rules here during study time?
During focused study blocks, like your Pomodoros, the phone needs to be away. Silent is good, but physically out of sight is better, preferably in another room.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Largely, yes. Research shows that even the mere presence of your phone on the desk, even if it's off or face down, can reduce your available cognitive capacity because part of your brain is working to not check it.
Wow, just knowing there is a drain.
It creates an internal conflict, a distraction. So remove the temptation entirely during deep work.
Okay, but we often need computers for studying. How do we manage distractions there?
This requires conscious effort. You can use technology smartly. There are focus apps or browser extensions that can block distracting websites for set periods.
Like blocking social media or news sites while you're writing a paper?
Exactly. Or you can be rigorous about closing unnecessary tabs and turning off notifications. The underlying principle is taking active control.
Being in charge of your screen time, not letting it be in charge of you.
That's the key takeaway. Be the operator, not the passive consumer.
Okay, so we've navigated the day, balanced work and life, managed our tech. Now we're heading towards the end of the day. Winding down, this is crucial too, right?
Absolutely critical. The transition to sleep is maybe the most important part of the routine for learning and memory,
Why is that?
because all the focused studying you did is kind of provisional until you sleep on it. Sleep is when the brain does its consolidation work.
Okay, so how do we prepare for good sleep? What does the wind down routine look like?
You need to start winding down about 1 to 2 hours before your intended bedtime. This means stopping intense studying or any mentally demanding work.
So no last minute cramming right before bed.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
That keeps your brain buzzing. Instead, switch to light, relaxing activities.
Like what?
Reading a physical book, not on a screen. Listening to calm music. Maybe some light stretching or reflecting on the day, what went well, what you learned. Something that signals to your brain that it's time to power down.
And the big rule here is about screens again, isn't it? Especially blue light.
Yes, this is non-negotiable for good sleep hygiene. Minimal to zero screen time in that last hour or two before bed.
Why is blue light such a problem?
Blue light, the kind emitted strongly by phones, tablets, computers, basically tells your brain it's still daytime. It directly suppresses the production of melatonin.
Melatonin being the sleep hormone.
Exactly. Melatonin signals to your body that it's time to wind down and sleep. If you blast your eyes with blue light, you delay or reduce that signal, making it much harder to fall asleep and stay asleep.
So if you must use a screen, use night mode or blue light filters.
Yes, those help, but ideally just put the screens away entirely. Read a paper book, listen to something. Let your brain get the right environmental cues for sleep.
And how much sleep are we aiming for, especially for students who are learning intensely?
The strong consensus is 7 to 9 hours per night, consistently. This isn't a luxury. It's a biological necessity for cognitive function.
And you mentioned memory consolidation. Can you explain that a bit more? What's happening during sleep?
It's fascinating, really. During deep sleep stages, your brain is incredibly active. It's replaying neural patterns from the day, strengthening important connections, and transferring information from the hippocampus, which is like temporary storage, to the neocortex for more permanent storage.
So it's literally moving memories from short-term to long-term.
Essentially, yes. It's integrating what you learned into your existing knowledge base. If you shortchange sleep, you are actively impairing that consolidation process. You might feel like you learned something, but it won't stick nearly as well.
Someone called sleep homework for your brain.
That's a great analogy. It's the essential processing time needed to make sense of and retain the day's input.
And consistency matters here too, right? Bedtime and wake-up time.
Hugely important. Going to bed and waking up around the same time every day, even on weekends, helps regulate your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm.
Even on weekends. No sleeping in until noon.
Well, massive shifts are disruptive. Sleeping until noon on Saturday makes it much harder to wake up on Monday morning because you've thrown your clock out of whack.
Yeah, jet lag without traveling.
Pretty much. Try to keep your weekend wake-up time within, say, an hour or maybe 2 of your weekday time. It maintains that rhythm.
So weekends aren't a total free-for-all. They should still have some light structure.
For optimal results, yes. Weekends are for rest, fun, hobbies, maybe creative things like painting or music, but also maybe a very light review, like quickly looking over the week's notes for 30 minutes. Keeps the information active.
Okay, so maintaining some rhythm helps. We also gathered some specific tips from successful students in the sources. What were those?
Yeah, a few recurring themes. First, start early on big things. Don't wait until the last minute for major assignments or studying for big exams.
Break it down.
Exactly. Break large tasks into small, manageable pieces and chip away at them consistently over time. Researching a big report a little bit each day feels much less daunting than facing a monster task the night before it's due.
Avoids the panic and improves the quality, presumably. What else?
Review regularly. This ties into memory. Successful students don't just study before a test. They review their notes frequently, maybe 10-15 minutes each day.
Spaced repetition.
Precisely. That consistent, spaced retrieval practice is scientifically proven to be far more effective for long-term retention than cramming all at once. It makes the information stick.
Okay, start early, review often. What was the third one?
Ask for help. This came up as a key differentiator. Don't be afraid to ask a teacher, a TA, a classmate, or a tutor if you're stuck or confused.
It's not a sign of weakness.
It's the opposite. It's a sign of strength and commitment to understanding. Proactively seeking clarification saves time and prevents small misunderstandings from becoming major problems. It's a smart strategy.
Okay, those are great practical tips. So
Yeah.
bringing this all together, we've laid out this comprehensive framework: morning routine, planning, Pomodoro, fuel, movement, balance, sleep. It sounds amazing, but maybe a bit intimidating.
It can definitely seem like a lot all at once.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the most important point, really,
Yeah.
customization.
Right. This isn't a rigid prescription.
Absolutely not. There is no single one-size-fits-all routine that works perfectly for everyone. People have different energy rhythms, different schedules, different learning styles.
So what should people do with all of this information?
Treat it like a buffet or maybe a toolkit. Think of this whole framework as an experiment, your own personal experiment.
Try things out.
Exactly. Pick one or two things that resonated with you. Maybe it's trying the Pomodoro technique for your study blocks next week, or committing to that no phone first thing rule, or just focusing on getting 8 hours of sleep consistently.
It's small.
Start small, implement it for a set period, like a week, and then evaluate. How did it feel? Did your focus improve? Did your stress levels change? Were you able to get more done?
Be your own scientist.
Be your own scientist. If a particular technique or habit helps you feel better, more focused, more in control, keep it, integrate it,
And if it doesn't, if waking up at 6:30 makes you miserable and unproductive,
then adjust it. Try 7.0 instead. Or maybe you're naturally a night owl and your peak focus time is later. The routine has to serve you. It should reduce stress, not add to it. Find what works for your biology and your life circumstances.
that's a really empowering message. It's not about forcing yourself into a box, but finding the structure that unlocks your best performance.
Precisely. We've covered all these pillars: the morning habits, the focused work techniques like Pomodoro, the crucial role of nutrition, hydration, movement, managing technology, and especially the power of sleep for memory.
It really is a holistic system when you look at it all together. Everything connects to support focus and well-being.
It all works together. Neglecting one area, like sleep, can undermine all the effort you put into studying, for example.
So we've given you the building blocks, the science behind them, the tips from successful students. Now the ball is in your court.
Yeah, now it's about action. So we want to leave you with a final thought, or really a challenge.
Okay, what is it?
We've discussed so many potential habits today, grounded in how our brains work, especially around focus, like avoiding attention residue, and memory, like the role of sleep consolidation. So the challenge is this: what is one specific small habit from everything we talked about that you are going to intentionally test out starting tomorrow?
Just one thing to start.
Just one. And crucially, how will you measure if it's actually working for you? Will you track your focus level, your perceived stress, the amount you get done? Think of the science we discussed. Maybe prioritize that sleep aspect and make that one intentional, evidence-based habit your focus for this week. See what happens.